Hello, guys. Welcome to another episode of Cuda Education. So, guys, we eventually have to get into the weeds with all of this stuff. We can't just look at surface level stuff. We have to get deep into deep into the instructions and what's going on. Before we actually do that, though, I just wanted to show you guys the situation with the textures. And for this video, I want to just rotate or modify the textures so that you guys can see exactly what happens or what we're trying to do, or what changes when we change how texture is processed, right? So right now we have our scene right here, and we could see that the texture is laid on, but not much else, right? So it's not the final application. It's just sort of, we've laid on the texture now, but the lighting and stuff is still isn't there, and you know, it's colorful and stuff, but the scene is still off, as we could see. But a couple things we wanna take note, because we're gonna start modifying stuff, and maybe it's not necessarily always obvious when we do modify. The first thing is that we look at this post board here, and also here, and we will see that anytime we do any modifications to textures, um, this um, this poster board is going to change, right? So this is going to be our anchor for us to know that, okay, something has changed, okay? So right now it is, we're rendering things correctly in terms of the texture, so it's showing correctly, okay? But that will change also for this one over here. You would also see something going on with the awnings. So right now the awning is showing correctly for the most part, right? It's a smooth things, and the striations and the markings on the awning look like they should, okay? So that is definitely something we want to look out for. Also, we will also see that these paintings on the wall, that's how it is right now, but it will sorry guys, I gotta get used to this stuff, right? But this stuff kind of changes, but not as much as I would have hoped, right? So this stuff right here, right? That stuff kind of changes. And then yeah, what else? I think there's something going on with here with the textures and stuff. But we're gonna see that when we start to modify things, that it will change. So um, this is our scene as we know, as we know for the time being, right? This is our scene. Um, and then let us go back to our thing, and then we're gonna do some modifications. So instead of doing the normal processing, by the way, we are in AAPL simple dot metal. So this is a shader on the GPU, right? GPU instructions, um, and we're basically rendering sort of the texture, based on specific coordinates. We're in the fragment mesh shader function. We will get into that, in due time. But for now, we just want to see what happens when we modify texture. So we now see that we have a different situation. So okay, so we can see here with the poster board that the the signage is different, right? The signage is now this guy. You see that it's flipped, right? You see that it's flipped. There's something going on with this sign here. Um, We could also see that now the the display on the awnings is off, right? So these things are off, right? So we've just, we've messed around with the texture, and then if we go inside, we could see that the textures here are all misplaced. This just doesn't make sense, kind of. Things are not in the right place, right? So I don't know if here we see much. We also see something going on with the lights here. It just doesn't look right, right? So this is this is what happens when we don't do the textures correctly. Okay. Yeah, things just look a lot chaotic, a lot more chaotic, but sometimes it's hard. Okay, we could see that this painting right here, this painting right here is upside down, right? Things are upside down. All right, so that is, and then there's just generally things are misplaced, right? Things are a little bit upside down. Okay, so that is one thing, and then yeah, we'll just do another. We'll just do another thing. So here now we see that the texture is shifted. Okay, so it's upright, but now it's shifted, right? And we could see that it's shifted. If we look, we see that these things are blank. I think these guys are supposed to be over here and all of that stuff. I don't know what's going on with this guy here. If we look around, yeah, we see that things have shifted, right? So when things are shifted, we get this kind of thing right here. And yeah, guys, so just so we have an idea of what we're trying to, what the effect of this thing is. We could also see it on the awnings, right? So it's been shifted and we see that it's just not placed right. Okay, so this is just things just look a little bit chaotic just visually. I was hoping, yeah, this was another one of mine. We could see that we see this blank space right here, which is not normally what is supposed to happen. So anyway, and then there is a final one where we rotate, we rotate about the axis. And we could see that, from our poster board here, we could see that we're rotating stuff now. Okay, so things are, yeah, this stuff is not right. We're rotating things. Okay, so things have like definitely rotated. Okay, all right, so that basically covers our what the end goal is, rotating and all that stuff. But we're gonna dive deep into the code in the following videos. But I wanted to just give you guys a high level overview of what it is that we're doing, and what happens when we do it wrong, and when we apply it wrong, and why we need it. Okay, so that is pretty much what I'm gonna dive into for for the coming episodes. So this again is the Clean Slate 3.0 series. So everything 3.3 point whatever is related to textured material. This is when we apply textures, wrongly. And we can see that we're in the AAPL simple file. I'm going to go through a whole overview with the texture stuff. So don't worry, guys. I'll get into the whole overview of the texture stuff. But we are definitely in the AAPL simple file. This is around line 70. A simple vertex and fragment shader for basic geometry rendering. Okay, again, we'll get into the weeds, but I just wanted to give you guys a good overview so that you actually have in mind what we're trying to do. We're not in the weeds and you don't know why we're in the weeds and why we're doing what we're doing and all that stuff. Anyway, this is Cuda Education, guys. You know the deal. Support the platform, share it with your friends, all that good stuff. Have a great day. This is Cuda Education.